Paltrocast.
Leslie, it is an honor among honors to be speaking with you. Fan of yours for many years now. Are you dialing in from New York?
I'm in from New York.
You're in from New York. I spent a little while, not as much as you. I spent a little while living in Harlem. I was at 126 Lenox.
Where?
126 in Lenox, by where there's the Whole Foods now.
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. Sure. Well, I spent a lot of time in Harlem.
Absolutely. The Cotton Club history and all that in the family.
Yeah,
amazing stuff. But hey, we were set up to talk about Dotty Soul, which has a lot of heart. It's very fun, very funny. Who's the Dotty character modeled after?
Oh, gosh, she's a little bit of people that I've known during my lifetime, a little bit of my Aunt Eloise, some cousins in the South. She's a little bit of everybody. Hardworking.
Yeah, I mean, you're so hard to pigeonhole because obviously the theatrical background, the early television background, sometimes you're in a blockbuster movie, sometimes it's an indie thing, sometimes it's, you never know where Leslie's going.
I'm everywhere.
You're everywhere. So was this a very hard role for you to get in touch with?
No. As a matter of fact, the first meeting I had with Adam, we clicked right away. I read the script and I said, oh yeah, I got to do this script because you don't see many characters like that are carrying a movie that are about real people and their struggles in life, and you don't know what their background story is. I mean, and so I just thought this is fabulous. And plus the fact that she's 70 years old.
And tells you that regularly.
And help, and that you don't get to see the relationship between a younger person and the older person that works.
Right. The line where your character says, I'm 70, but I look 45. You don't tell me. That seems like it was improvised by you.
Yeah, it was kind of. Yeah, it was kind of.
Got it.
I mean, that's her way of addressing the age thing. Let's get it out there, and then they won't be questioning it anymore.
Yeah, this kind of company that's shown in the film, it's not totally unrealistic. In this day and age, we've seen the ascent of so many, hey, that's a great idea. Hey, we are going to fund it ASAP. Oh, this person is famous. Oh, the person was not ready to be a public figure, to say the least. This is the thing that we've seen played out so many times. We'll continue to see it. In your case, did you need to do a lot of research into that world?
Not really, because as you said, you're well aware of now, ideas are pitched and they have a startup or, whatever in the business world. And you can see it, just watch one of the news shows. It talks about business,
Exactly. Who had you worked with on this project before? Was it, you don't audition at this point in time, let's be honest. You're such a legend that they're going, yeah, we want a Leslie Uggams type. Okay, let's get Leslie Uggams. But in this case, did you know one of the producers or did you know Adam at first?
I knew no one, no one. But Adam had this thing in his head about, talking to me and everything. And it was kind of unusual in a way because we met, he came up to where I lived and we hit it off right away. So we were comfortable with each other. And then when I read the script, I said, oh, I have to do this. I love this character. And that's how it happened. But I didn't know anybody. And they turned out to be great people. We had a great time in filming this movie. And the actors,
I'm surprised to hear that. My guess would have been, based on the number of roles you've had and based on the number of roles that David Koechner has had, I thought you would have worked on an indie film or two with him.
No, we were all newbies to each other.
And where was this filmed? Because you can't tell with indoor scenes these days.
Well, part of it was in Oklahoma City.
Oh.
And what happened was the last week of shooting, we got shut down because the pandemic had hit.
Oh.
And then we didn't do anything again until, over a year, and we wound up here in New York and upstate New York, because by that time people weren't really flying a lot,
Right.
so it was that kind of situation. But originally we started in Oklahoma City.
You're saying the buzzwords here. When you tape as many junkets as I do, for better and for worse, you hear
Yes.
that the movies are made in Oklahoma, upstate New York, New Mexico. Pretty much nothing's made in New York except, I guess, Dotty Soul.
Well, television wise, there's a lot of stuff going on in New York that's shot in New York, but trying to get the location to look like you're in the original place, they have to do a lot of research, and they found those places. And in the office building, that was easy to do.
Well, aside from Dotty and Soul, another role or a thing that's on your credit, even though it says uncredited, the Mrs. Maisel episode that used an old recording of yours in the Ferris wheel episode, really cool credit to have. And I want to ask you about that show. Now,
I love that show.
Now, I do too. But the thing is, you were actually on a lot of the shows that the show is either referencing or kind of creating the hybrid characters of. Like, we know that Gordon Ford is supposed to be something along the lines of Dick Cavett, Jack Parr, and all. So when you watch that show, does that make you nostalgic, or can you just look at it as entertainment?
Oh, some of it makes me nostalgic. Also, the fact that I used to play the Catskill Mountains all the time.
Yeah.
So any of that stuff, the places that she played one time, it was like, oh my God.
The Concorde.
The Concorde. That was you. I mean, when you played the Concorde and Grossingers, you had made it. You made it. And so that brought up so many memories to me about, oh yes, I was there on that stage at the Concorde,
Yeah. So, you look at those credits where you were on Name That Tune.
Yes.
I Spy. And it fascinates me with your career that you've done every facet of entertainment possible, that now we see you in the Wu-Tang show for that, voiceovers, you're still on Broadway, etc. So this is a compliment. I'm asking, is there anything that you haven't done yet that you're still hoping to do?
Well, I'm always looking for the next role. That's how actresses are, and actors, and we all look at what's the next job, will he ever work again? So when something is presented to me, I give it a close look. I'm always interested in what kind of woman the character is, and if it's something I feel that I can add to, then I'm interested in it. But my career has never been planned. Everything I've ever done came from some other weird kind of place. My mother used to say, you look for one thing around one corner and it comes around the other corner. And that's been my career my whole life. Every phase of everything I've done, it was never planned, but all of a sudden, next thing I know, I was either auditioning for something, or somebody said, you're going to be great for this.
Well, before I ask you the last question, I'm going to call you the well-adjusted accidental child star. You're
yes,
the one child star who did not have any scandals. So
and I think that's because my father said to my mother, okay, she's going to be traveling or doing things, you have to be with her every minute. So my father took on a third job to make sure that my mother was there. And because there was some horror stories that went on with, child actors and actresses. It wasn't going to happen with Juanita's daughter, I'll tell you that.
Exactly. And the last thing before I let you go, will we get an album from you in the near future, or ever?
I don't know. Somebody asked me, you want to record again? So if the right opportunity came, I recently did an appearance at 54 Below, and I hadn't done that in 8 years, and I had a ball. It was really, really great. So I would like to get back in the studio.
Okay, so what I've learned today, more to come. Obviously, Deadpool, psyched for that as well. But you never know when Leslie's going to be appearing. Just keep checking the Instagram and the IMDb, and that's how you'll know, right?
Oh, I love that.
Okay, well, thank you for your time and thank you for the many years of great art, Leslie.
Thank you, but thank you so much.
Paltrocast.